welcome in to Well Read, Well Said on WTOL 11+. This is our new show. A little bit of a book club, a little bit of a review book club, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to do both of them. I'm Kaylee, and I'll let everyone else introduce themselves.
I'm Megan.
Mel.
Alexis.
Oh, perfect.
Hi.
And so we'll talk a little bit about kind of what this show is and what you can expect on our show, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of things. So this really started because the four of us like to read a lot. We read different things too, so it just came out of us reading, us always talking about it.
So we started a group chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
a couple years ago.
Yes. You were the main one, actually.
Yeah, that was our Colleen Hoover obsession for a minute.
Yeah, that was our phase.
Yeah.
And you kind of forced all of us to read. You were like, here, this is the book I'm reading. Everyone else read it with me.
Well, just like I like to share things.
Yeah.
And then hopefully other people will read them and like it too. Yeah. That's what I think book clubs are about. I was nervous about this though because I don't like to be told what to read.
Yeah, I don't think any of us do. But we're trying something new. We're stepping out of our comfort zone.
Broadening our horizons.
Exactly. We all like to read, and we have our normal niche that we like to read in, so we're also stepping out of that too, especially for Alexis and Megan and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you read a little bit more different thing. Like,
yeah,
you're all over the place.
Well, I feel like I go through phases. I don't know if most people do, but I'll get kind of sick of one genre, and then I'll like to either make it a little heavier, make it a little lighter, take a break from that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are you guys most excited for with this new book club that we have?
I think, honestly, just reading different things, because I get so stuck in we'll talk about our favorites in a little bit, but I get stuck in what I like to read, and it'll give me a reason, or at least force me to read something I don't particularly
you may
want
be
to.
surprised
that I might like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to what we'll read and being able to talk about it, because so many days I come in and I'm like, oh my God, Kaylee, I'm reading this book. I think you'd really like it. And now I have an avenue to geek out about books.
Mm-hmm. Melissa?
What am I looking forward to? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think trying some new stuff, some new types of books. But yeah, I do read a lot of different little things.
Yeah. Okay. So for everyone watching, we will have 2 episodes a month where we will talk about our book. The first episode will air the first Tuesday of the month. The last episode will be on the last Tuesday. The first episode that we will have some games that I also have for us today to give people a teaser for what they can expect.
I do like games.
Yes.
So I have a game. We'll talk about the genres that we're going to be choosing. We'll have a book generator that will have genres, and it'll go around and it'll randomly pick our book for the month, and then we'll talk about what we can expect for that month with the book that we're reading and the one that's chosen. And then the last episode of the month will be kind of our review episode, where we will break down theories and characters and plots and all of that stuff. So it'll be really fun. It'll be a deep dive sort of for that last episode, that last Tuesday of the month. So for people, when they watch these episodes, one of the biggest things that I feel like we should say is that there will be spoilers.
I was about to say that. So if you're not going to read the book with us, you're going to get spoiled about the book. But we hope you read with us.
Do we need to say, or like, so people can just randomly click on this and get, well, I mean, that's the risk with any type of.
Yeah, it'll be spoilers.
The risk of social media in general.
And you have a month to read it. That's plenty of time.
That's
It'll take a
true,
couple
and we're only
weeks,
doing one book a month, which is not like super heavy lifting.
And they're not going to be like, hopefully, long books.
We could finish a couple of these books in
Couple
2
days.
days.
Yeah.
We have
way that we
finished
devour
a couple
them.
of
Yes,
these books
we
in
have.
2 days. Anyone else? The episodes will be about 30 minutes long, but they could go longer as well, because we're all pretty chatty people.
And we all are very opinionated people too.
True.
So is there going to be a way for people to like talk with us about the book too.
Yeah, we have a Facebook group for everyone. It's on Facebook, WTOL 11 plus, well read, well said. So that's a new Facebook group. If you want to be a part of that and join in on the conversation, you can there. And we are hoping to bring those chats and stuff onto our show and give other people's
People might say, like, what do you think about this character or this?
Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, we would hope so. So that'll be fun. And we are so excited. I've got those games planned as well for a lot of people. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be right back after a short break. Welcome back in. So this block of our show, we're going to talk about us and why we like to read, what got us started in reading, what our favorite genres are. Very casual for us. So who wants to start on why they got started reading?
Okay.
Our resident book reader.
My mom was always really encouraging us to read when we were little. She used to take us to the library like every week, and I'd check out like 2 or 3 books. I'd say the book series that really got me super invested in reading was the Nancy Drew mystery series. And I remember my mom handed me the book and she said, "Here, try this, you might like it." And I inhaled that book in like 2 or 3 days and continued to read the series. And throughout my life, I have always made reading a hobby. And so I try and read different genres of things, but I generally stick to romance or fantasy as my top 2. But I've always just really enjoyed reading. And so I'm up to like 25 books read so far this year.
This year. So
This year.
Okay.
And it's only April.
I'm trying to do the math.
That's a lot.
That's like, yeah, 4, 5
A month?
a month. Yeah.
If
Ooh,
not
girl.
more.
Okay.
Dang. Okay, Melissa or Alexis.
I have a very similar background with that. My mom used to take me to the library all the time, and she'd go read her books. And I mean, we would spend hours, and I'd spend hours in the little kids section. Matilda, Babysitter's Club.
Yeah.
I loved reading. My kids, disappointingly, do not like reading. I mean, they have many more choices out there digitally than I did back then. But then I think, you know, when you go through school and you have to read, and you're in college and you have to read, it wasn't as enjoyable. And then I went through life where, you know, in the thick of things with little kids and stuff, and then really just probably did pick it up again with the Colleen Hoover books, but now I'm reading all kinds of things. So I think it's something that is like you can go back to it if you have the seed planted. And then you can realize how much you really like it again, and it kind of takes you away from all of life's problems, and you feel more productive than just binge watching a show or something. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've done a romance. I'm reading a book now, The Guest List, that I started on my vacation. I've been jumping in and out, so obviously I'm not like devouring it. That was a recommendation from a friend, but I really like World War II fiction, like the Kristen Hanna books are wonderful. I would like crime. Mystery, true crime. Yeah, so I go in between all of those. There's some genres I'm not like really looking forward to reading, but hey, like you got to keep an open mind, right? Because that's how you may find out you do like something else.
That's true. That's true. I'll go next. I wasn't much of a reader when I was little. I would read here and there, but it was never pushed on me or anything. I read a lot with my grandma, but then I picked up reading in high school with a dystopian book series that we had to read for one of our English projects. And then it was actually Hunger Games.
Hey.
Oh,
Nice.
a good
Yeah,
one.
and I picked it because I searched on that list which one has a movie coming out. and or had a movie out, and that one had a movie coming out, so that was why I read it.
Because you were intending to just watch the movie?
You were trying to cheat, or
No. I wanted to. If I read the book, I would
wanted
have
to
been
watch
more
it.
motivated to finish the book,
So you
I could watch the movie,
Okay.
and that's what I did. And that kind of got me started reading again. But then in college, as you mentioned, Mel, I stopped reading altogether. Picked it back up 3 years ago, when one of my New Year's resolutions was to stop watching a lot of TV. And I just went from binge watching to binge reading. So now that's all I do.
pipeline.
And I barely turn the TV on at home anymore. So that's what I do. A lot of my reading is romance, sci-fi, or fantasy. I like that genre.
with like a romance in there, fantasy.
Yeah.
With it.
Yeah.
I've always been a reader. I just always was reading. Like she said, college definitely, it was too much. You had to read in college and you were assigned to it, so like definitely didn't read much in college. But in the past couple of years with you guys here and everything, it just like really sparked my like love for reading. And Megan got me into audiobooks, and I'm a runner, so when I'm running, I'm listening to audiobooks, which is, a lot of people tell me it's weird, but I think it's great, because then I'm like, I'm running, I'm in a whole nother world, it takes you away. I have 2 little kids. It's like my escape is to like read and go into another world and just like be in the world, and I get so invested in the characters and I care so much about them. But I'm also like a serial series reader. Like if I read the first book, like you two get me reading a book, and I'm like, oh, this was cute, and then they're like,
There's
well,
like
there's
8
5 more of them, and I'm like,
Or
now I have to read 12 books.
There's only 2 books out in the series, and
you
there's
have to
going to be
wait.
5.
Yeah. Oh, when's the next one come out? Next year. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's how
I
we
like
feel
the
now.
full story. So if I have every single character and there's a book, I'm going to read every single one.
Yeah, and you like to read it all the way through. Where
Yes.
Megan and I are like, okay, we're done with this one for right now. What's another?
No.
What's
You'll
another
just
one?
stop
we can
reading.
Yeah, they just stop.
And
I'm
then
like,
I pick it back up
I pick it
in
back
a few
up.
months or whatever.
I
No.
feel, and that's the thing. I feel like with books, I feel guilty, like I need
Yes,
to
you
finish
need
it,
to
even if
know.
I don't like it.
Oh, you can DNF books.
No.
There's
What's
no did not finish.
Oh,
I've never
There's
not
no
finished a book.
sense in reading a book that you're not enjoying when you could be reading tons of other books that you could be enjoying.
But you put the time in starting it. You just got to finish it. That's
Yeah,
how I
Alexis
feel.
did
You have
that to
finish
me
it.
one time. I really did not like a book.
Oh, and I loved it, and it was.
and what? She made
sad.
you finish it?
No, she does not finish.
I made myself finish it, but,
But
I
she
hated it. I watched the movie afterward. The movie was much better. We'll tell you what one that is later. But
What it was it?
it was The Idea of You.
Idea of you.
Oh,
the one with Anne
yeah,
Hathaway.
oh, okay.
Book,
That one.
in my opinion.
The book was good.
Not- the book was not good. Okay, real quick. How often do you all read?
I'll go first. I read every day. So I wake up in the morning
Oh,
and
she's going to give us the rundown.
I wake up in the morning and I get my cup of coffee and I sit and I read for like an hour, hour and a half before
Nice.
work.
So you get up earlier.
So
That's
I
what they say you're
read,
supposed
yeah.
to do to start a good day, though. Actually,
Yeah.
like that's supposed to be good for you.
So that's what I do. And then I pick back up with my book in the car on the way to and from work. And then when I get home, I eat dinner and I most of the time sit there and read for another couple hours at night.
So you go from iReading to then audiobook to back to iReading. Okay. Melissa?
I have been kind of on a break until vacation, and I'll just take a Kindle now. I really did not want to get away from the physical book because I love physical books. But I did start with a Kindle, and I do like that. So just, a couple chapters here and there on vacation, sitting in the airport, at the beach, whatever. And then I'll just kind of go on these phases, and then I'll just take breaks. I feel like this is good. I mean, I do need to get back into it a little bit more. So it's kind of nice that we have this different perspective going on with each of us.
Alexis, how often do you read?
I try to read every day, but by the time I get to bed, around 9:30 as Mom, I'm just so tired. I get in bed, I'm like, all right, settle in. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna read.
It is nice to read a little bit before bed.
I fall
do
asleep.
think so.
I read like literally 2 pages,
okay.
and the book's on my face, or the Kindle, or because I read on my Kindle, physical books, and on my phone, depending on whatever's easiest, and I'm asleep in 2 seconds. So this is going to help me actually get done with books quicker because it takes me a long time. They can attest. They'll be reading the same book. These 2 are done in 2 days, and it takes me like 2 months because I read
And
like
we're
2
like,
pages
come
a day.
on, Alexis, get with the program.
Yeah.
But if it's on audio and I can run while I'm doing it, I'll get through it faster.
Yeah, I always feel like you do get through a book way faster when you do.
When I have
you
audio
listen to
and
it.
reading, because I can have 2 different things.
I've never done an audiobook.
I don't
think I would like it.
I don't do
I
audiobooks either.
highly recommend, but you have to find a good audiobook narrator. I think good audiobook narrators make or break the book and will enhance the experience. And a lot of times, I will sit there reading on my Kindle and I'm listening to the book at the same time, and I do like an immersive reading.
Oh, that's.
If you want to get into audiobooks, I would try.
I think she need to be the host of the show.
So much reading.
Immersive.
There you go.
Immersive reading.
Experience.
It's called graphic audio. I just learned.
Yes.
I don't know any of this.
That's your new
listen
paper.
Graphic audio is when you read it and listen to it.
Yeah. And so for you, if you want to get into audiobooks, I would suggest doing a reread of a book that you've already read. So that way,
But I don't want to
kinda
read
get
the
in
book
the
if I
doing
don't-
something though.
I would have to get
'Cause you
the
fall
audio
asleep.
sample. Do you have to? What you're saying is you would have to get the audio sample first before you click to buy, or because
Well, library systems have Libby in there all.
Well, wait, so this leads us to the next question is, what way do we like to read? And I read usually every day. It depends on how often and how much I read, but usually every day. Once I get home from work, I sit for like an hour and I just read. And then before bed, I read before bed too. I don't turn the TV on. And then I just fall asleep with the book.
Right.
And so that's my reading format. How do we like to read? And we kind of just mentioned it. I'll go first. I read exclusively on my Kindle. I don't like a physical book because it makes my hand hurt.
I can see that if they're bigger.
Yeah.
You gotta hold the book open.
When you have to hold the book open, your pinky
what did we do before a
pinky gets
Kindle?
sore. And I don't like holding it like this because then my arm gets
they
sore.
make pillows for.
I know. You know what? I have a pillow specifically for my Kindle. I'm outing myself here. I'll bring it for
Do
you
you
guys.
have the clicker too?
I don't have
do.
the clicker,
Oh,
but
boy.
the pillow, it's called a
turns
pillow
the
pad.
page
It turns
and
the
it
page
just,
on
your
yeah,
Kindle.
It props my Kindle up and I just go like this all day. I just
And then
press
you
it,
with
press
your
it.
clicker, where's the Kindle? Like
in my lap. And so I put the remote on and I click there and I just sit there.
Yeah, we need them to bring these props in and
See, and it
demonstrate.
helps with
Okay.
my
Yeah,
neck
I don't have
too
any of
because
that.
then I'm not it's not down.
Yeah.
I just have it propped up and it's perfect and I just click it. It's really good when you have a blanket too because then you can just have the blanket
And
wrapped
bundle.
and you can
Okay,
just
yeah,
put
'cause
your finger
hand
out.
does get cold sometimes when you're holding them for
See?
a while.
This is insane. You're all insane. You're all insane.
Okay, so we know Megan likes all types of formats of
Yep.
reading. What do you prefer, Mel?
In terms of the books,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I like the physical book,
But you have a Kindle, right?
I have 2 Kindles. See, now I'm going down the
yeah,
road
why
with you
do
guys. Well, I think I lost I think it was the Paperwhite one, right? Where it doesn't have the colors and stuff.
Yeah.
So then I got a full Kindle, but then you can't read that one in the sun outside. So mostly I just use the Paperwhite. It's so small. I think that's the one you.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one I had.
Yeah,
I have that.
she
I
must
now have
upgraded.
the Kindle
like a
Scribe,
tablet.
and it's like a tablet with a pen, and I can
take
annotate.
notes?
Yeah. See, that's a little too much for me.
You need to write this down. So we're going to need
Kindle
for the
Scribe.
next
We need to
episode.
see
We need
your
your
You need my pillow
layouts.
pet.
I want photos of your whole layout, or maybe videos of how you're
Oh, I
using
can
these
do
remotes,
that,
and then you need to come on and do your demonstration and show us your notes on this.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, because it's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm invested. My parents got me my Kindle Scribe for Christmas. And I would not have spent the money and bought it for myself if it weren't a gift. But I use this every single
What
day.
are we doing with the notes? We're going back and look, because I
Yep.
do like to highlight. That is one thing
I
like to
highlight
like,
quotes.
highlight the word,
I
and
love
so
that.
if you don't know what it means,
I've done that lots.
But what
yeah.
are we writing with the
So
notes?
I highlight quotes that I like that characters say. If I'm doing like a deep dive of a fantasy series and I'm doing like rereads, I'll write down notes about like the characters or, oh, this is foreshadowing, you know, different things like that.
Megan, do you color code it? Like, is the scribe color coded? Are you a color coding person?
I could see that, yeah.
The scribe is
tabs that
not
people do?
Okay,
the
yeah.
scribe is
Yeah, I've
not
seen
color coded. It's black and white. But if I do a physical copy and I'm tabbing my books,
Yeah,
I
tabbing.
do
Tabbing's a
color.
This could be a whole episode.
It
Yeah.
I don't even know what tab
I don't
is,
even
but
know
I
what
know
that
it's a
means.
thing.
I have 50 million of the tabs, and I have books that I have tabbed.
oh my
Oh,
bring
that's
it
like
in.
bookmark, right?
But like with different
Yeah,
colors.
and they,
codes it.
they
real
mean a
specific.
different thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot.
Stay
Okay, how do
tuned.
you read, Alexis?
Whatever is available. I have a Kindle, so then you have the Kindle app on my phone, and then it connects, and then I do Audible, and if you have Audible and the Kindle version, then it's really great when you're listening.
It syncs up.
It syncs and it finds where you are in the book. So if I go run, I listen to it.
that's nice.
And then if I'm in bed at night, it'll go right to where I was when I was listening. So generally I have both copies as long as they're available, because I don't want to I'm not going to buy 50 copies of something. So if the library has,
Unlike me,
I don't do that.
we won't get
only
into
if
that.
it's available,
Told you,
I'll
she
have
need
all
to
of
be.
them.
She's the expert.
She is. Megan reads way more than any of us. Okay, one more question go round, then we've got to go to our break. We already kind of hit on it a little bit, but what's our favorite genre or go-to read, and why do we read it? Go.
Romance, but specifically small town romance. I like my cute little towns where they're all connected, and there's 5 brothers series, and you get to know each one, and they all find their true love. And why it's like an escape. It's just like a fun you don't have to think about it very much. It's just an easy read where yes, they get predictable. That's when I go to another. I'll read small town, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting bored. I
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen, and then I'll pick up a Frida McFadden and read a thriller real quick, and then go back to my small town.
As a palate cleanser.
A palate cleanser. It's a good way to put it.
And I think that too, when we were all doing the Colleen Hoover stuff, I do think the writing is super simple. So I kind of get sick of that. And that's what I like about the Kristen Hanna books and the World War II stuff is the emotion, and it just brings out a whole, instead of feeling these romantic feelings, you just feel such empathy, and your imagination about history gets going and why things, because there is some truth in some of the stories as far as the historical elements, I think. And then you start to think, wow, was it really like that? So I love that kind of stuff. And then as far as, my crime interest, I think just, wow, that really happened. Or one of the books that I read recently was called Framed, and it was by John Grisham, and it was really just a book of 10 chapters of 30 to 35 pages of instances in where people were framed for
Oh, that would
crimes.
be cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I like to read that kind of stuff. It's been a while since I've been, I told you I dabbled in that book over vacation, the guest list, and I'm like, this is so cheesy. It's about these British people and, oh, we were at uni together, and I'm just like, this is lame.
Yeah,
So
not a good one for you.
It's harder now for me, I think, once you go into those more complex genres to then come back. But it is also nice to lighten it up a little bit. So I think there's benefits.
To both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Megan, we know what you read.
Yeah.
But I want to know I don't even know the difference between fantasy and romance.
Oh, they're two different
yeah.
ones, because
Yeah,
then they
romantic
join
fantasy.
together, which is
For
the most recent
romantasy.
for
Oh,
romantasy.
romantasy, yeah, that's what it is.
and those are pretty good. There's
But
some
you'll
good
learn.
ones out
You'll
there.
learn on
I
the show.
guess, yeah.
Okay, so Megan, what do you read?
I like to read contemporary romance, and I do a lot of fantasy and like fantasy romance. I like to read the fantasy to escape into like a different world, learn a cool magic system, and kind of escape the real world for a little bit. I do a lot of different contemporary romances, from like sports romances to small town romances to dark romances. I kind of do a lot of different books in that umbrella genre.
I can't wait for you guys not to read romance.
Listen, my face betrays everything I'm thinking. So as soon as we get a biography, you're gonna know I'm gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be the worst. But I will do it.
Maybe it'll be about like the Scarlet Letter or something.
That's why there's lots of genres, because everyone likes what they like. I typically fall in line with Alexis and Megan, though, too. I read lots of romance. I do like a good sci-fi, and I like a good dystopian book as
I
well.
can't wait for you guys to read like a true crime, like serial killer book.
I like some thrillers
scare me 'cause
too,
it's, like, real.
thriller mysteries as
Yeah.
well. So
I'm reading Helter Skelter. I read
Yeah,
that
I'm
when I was
good.
young, and
No
that
thanks.
did
Scared
me in
you?
for a while.
yeah, I don't like a lot of scary things. So thriller sometimes is hard for me, but
You just can't read it at night.
I can't read it at night. That's for
I'm not
sure.
going
I
to read
gotta
that while
it
I'm running in the
daylight.
woods. Like,
No, no.
that's,
Oh,
that,
no.
I mean, no. That's why I'm in my small town romance. Just
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we'll pick this back up in just a minute. We'll be right back. Okay, so when we do this, we will have a spinner. We're calling it the Wheel of Genres. It's popped
there
up
it
right here
is.
behind us. So this will be how we choose our book each month. We don't want to choose it. We want it to be totally randomized, so
if
that
we were to
you
choose
get
it,
would
you
never
romance.
agree.
Yeah.
Or it would be
get-
3 against 1.
Yes.
Our reaction.
It would be romance all the time.
So I will go through the list. We already have this month's book picked out, but the list that we will be covering for the rest of the year, we have biography, self-help, true crime romance, mystery thriller, fantasy memoir, sci-fi dystopian, historical fiction, and literary fiction. And so each month, the wheel will go, it'll spin just like that. It'll choose whatever genre. And then once the genre, so for example, it would be self-help, whatever genre is chosen, one of the library systems will have a list of books for us, and they will come in and say, these are the self-help books. There's this one, and this one, and on the show we will have to choose which one from the selection that they give us. So that I think will be a lot of fun because.
So how did we choose the book that we start with?
So the book that we started
we were
with.
deliberate about this choice,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
We all
So-
talked it out.
Yeah. So Megan, you brought the book for us.
did.
You want to hold it up?
Sure.
Okay. This month's book is.
Shocker.
It ends with us. Colleen
Probably
Hoover.
never heard of it.
Right? Okay, so I feel like let's talk real quick about why we chose this. One, this was kind of what we all started with when we were reading together in our
newsroom,
like newsroom book club. So that one was, I think, an obvious. But then the other obvious is like if you are in tune with any book or movie drama, this
TikTok.
one
Yep.
has
There's
been
a lot
crazy.
there.
Yep.
There's a lot there, and it'll help us. I mean, we'll be able to talk about the movie. I still have not seen the movie because I was
Okay.
so disturbed about everything that was said on TikTok about the making of the movie, and also really not just what was said, but again, like when you see on social media the people who are portraying the characters that you have in your mind,
Yeah.
the look of the characters, the age of the characters, and everything like that, then you say like, oh, maybe I don't know if I want that to replace
Like
what
mess
I
up
already
what you
have
had.
thought.
Yeah.
So you guys have all seen the movie. I have not. But I mean, I will because of all this. But
And that was one of the things that we talked about as well, is that this has a movie to go with it. So that'll be part of how we'll be able to break it down and, you know, give
Compare.
our review and compare it as well, because we think that'd be interesting for the thoughts on that.
In general, we always
and I
know
think
the
it'll
books
be
are better.
interesting
Yep.
too with everything that's been said about the about what kind of a book it is, whether
underlying
it's
theme.
right.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to go back and reread it and see if like that stands out to me more, because I don't remember that it did at that time when I first read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I'm going to go into it now with we probably just unknowingly are going into it with a different perspective now, just with everything that's been out there. And you guys have seen the movie and you're going to go back and read the book.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. We have this last little segment, really quick. It's rapid fire questions. I'm giving you 2 questions. You got to give me one or the other, okay?
Okay.
Fiction or nonfiction?
Fiction.
I always get these two confused. Wait, fiction
is fake.
Fake.
Yeah.
Fiction.
Yeah, fiction.
Okay. Fiction or
Yeah,
nonfiction?
fiction.
Okay. Hardcover or paperback?
Paperback.
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 Okay. Dog ear your pages or use a bookmark?
Bookmark.
ear.
Oh my God.
She definitely dog ears. I've read after her. I try to bookmark it.
Okay. One book at a time or multiple?
Multiple.
One.
One. I get too
Okay.
confused.
Big font or small font?
It doesn't matter to me.
I like big.
Small.
I'm a woman of a certain
Yeah.
age.
She doesn't want to squint.
You know what? The Kindle's good for that.
Yeah.
You can zoom it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you read the last page first?
No.
Who does that?
What kind of psycho does that?
That's so horrible.
Why would you do that?
Okay, have you ever skipped ahead in a book? Just to like see how far you are.
Like
from
the self-help. I can't. Yeah. I can't.
Yeah.
What are we getting to here? Say it, say it.
Okay.
No.
Do you judge a book by the cover?
Sometimes.
Romances are hard to do that with.
This doesn't say much.
No. It does
No.
not.
So you can't judge that
No.
one
No.
by the
More,
cover.
but I do like to read like the reviews and the synopsis.
blurb.
Read
Yeah.
the back.
yeah. Okay. Do you talk out loud to your characters in your book?
No, Megan.
Sometimes
What?
I react to the book. I react to the book.
Yeah.
And what's going on in that
Listen, if
scene.
there's a good quote and it just makes you got to say it out loud.
So wait. So you'll say like, Jennifer, what are you doing?
Yeah, or to not throw my Kindle or my book across the room if I'm mad. I'm just like, oh my God, what was that? What are you doing?
You do that too?
No. Oh, I did that a lot in Onyx Storm. Actually, the whole Fourth Wing series. I just speak out loud. You don't want to be in the room with
I just
me.
talk to you
I
guys
can't
about
wait
it.
for you
Yeah,
to
you
read
don't
a
wanna be in the
series
room
like
with
that
me.
on the show.
We didn't
Okay.
say anything about a series.
No, we're not doing
No,
a series.
not
okay.
series,
What's
but-
the longest you've ever stayed up to read?
Well, I try to stay up, but I never make it past like 10.
Probably like 2 a.m. I mean, there's been
I'd
some
say
good books.
like 1, 2 a.m.
But do you get to the point where like you're almost there, so you're like, ooh, I just want to finish it?
Yeah, my
Yes.
Kindle tells me 8 minutes left in the chapter.
yeah.
And
so
you
I'm
try
like,
and race
oh,
it?
heck yeah.
So you want to
Still
finish it
got
on a clean
time.
chapter?
Yes.
Yes.
I
yeah.
will
Oh.
never, oh my gosh.
Yeah, not in the middle,
I
unless you fall
will
asleep.
never stop in the middle of a chapter. I can't do that.
If you fall asleep, you can't help it.
Or if you get to work and you can't finish the chapter, like I
Yeah, but
stop
then I
it.
have to like restart it.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I
that's
don't
why the
do
Kindle's
that.
great because it gives you that like time frame. It's like 10 minutes left. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
can
I
do
don't
that.
even really hardly pay attention.
Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, last question. How long is your TBR to be read?
Gosh.
Your what?
Your
to be read.
Like books
To
you
be
want to
read.
read.
I have hundreds of books on mine.
Hundreds?
Yeah.
I have just like in the notes. You guys are all on these
Do you have
apps.
Goodreads?
No, I
Okay,
have,
We're gonna get you a Goodreads.
I
Everyone
just
needs a
have
Goodreads.
like notes in my iPhone.
Okay.
Maybe like
Okay.
I don't
Like if you
know,
see one that
15
you're-
books or
15
something.
books. Okay. Megan, you said hundreds?
Hundreds, yeah.
I looked at mine. Mine's like 1,700. So
If you see it, you just
I
like
have
add
seven.
it.
Yeah.
If I see it, I add it. If a friend of mine has it, I add it.
Right.
If
Eventually
you follow
I'll
them on
read it.
Goodreads and they post
maybe
it,
not.
you're like, oh, that looks
This
good.
is going to be kind of an interesting
I
experiment.
mean-
We're coming from different
Backgrounds.
worlds. Yes.
We love it. So, okay, that's it for our episode. Thanks so
Wait,
much
so
for
now
joining
everyone
us.
has to start
Yeah,
reading
everyone
this.
has to read that. That's what I
We
was
kinda
going to get
skipped
to.
over.
Thanks for joining us. If you want to read this book with us,
Please do.
Please do.
It ends with us. You can join in on the conversation with us on Facebook. You can message us. We would love to hear your thoughts. We would love for you to read it with us as well. We'll be back at the end of the month, April 29th, and that will be our review episode.
So the next
where-
episode, we're like talking about what we're reading in the book in 2 weeks. So
No, end of the month.
oh,
Yeah,
like 3 weeks.
29th.
3 weeks.
So we'll be done with the book.
By the
And
time
we'll
we talk
about
again.
it, yeah.
Okay.
So get to reading.
Get to reading.
This book will take me
Listen,
2
you're
days.
one to talk,
I
Miss.
know,
I
I'm
fall
ready again.
asleep reading.
You got to watch the movie in this time too, Melissa, because
yes.
we'll also do a book versus movie and talk about that.
Compare 'em.
So
By April 29th. read the
April
book. Okay.
29th.
Okay.
Everybody.
Let us know
Would
your
you know?
thoughts. And again, Facebook, Well Read, Well Said, WTOL 11 Plus Book Club. Bye.